Vessel complete trophy earned. Thanks, game.
Indeed. The enemy numbers 200,000 or more counting yours. There are simply not enough soldiers garrisoned in the capital to repel an army of that size. Then what of the central keep? Held by a contingent of soldiers and bearers from the surrounding boroughs. They are the sole reason it still stands. And all it took was an army on their doorstep to bring them together.
The prospect of death does put things into perspective.
Yeah, perspective. Perhaps it's what we've lacked all along.
Some of your best men, preferably all of them.
My best men? Does it look like I really want?
I admit this might not be the most convenient time, but my nephew's in trouble, and I may have already promised him your help.
Your nephew, the outlaw? My soldiers have better things to do than die for nothing.
And you and he are of the same mind. Pride fights for the opposite. He fights for a world in which they shouldn't have to live and die for the thing. And he fights today to give us all a chance of a better tomorrow.
Be that as it may, a handful of men cannot stand against a kingdom.
Then mayhap they are the wrong men.
Well, I'll be damned.
Our numbers are few, but I shall rally as many of my dragoons as I'm able. You, apprise the Lord Strategist of the state of the city's defenses.
Yes, Your Radiance.
And you would fight alongside us?
I owe the Phoenix a debt.
Does this vouch for my nephews?
Aye, but I still have my doubts about you.
Which we can discuss later.
Indeed.
You said you had men garrisoned in the keep. Captain, do you know how many yet remain?
Allow me to confirm. Commander?
Whatever their number, Randalar will be needing
Gather the
them
bodies
all.
and build a pyre in the courtyard. Quickly.
Terence.
My lord.
You will find a girl there.
A girl? We are in the middle of a war.
I owe her my life, and I always pay my debts. You are to see that she is provided for.
Dion, I cannot leave.
But you shall. If I'm ever to be worthy of the forgiveness of our people, then I must earn it. And I must earn it by my hand, and my hand alone. Know that I do not ask this lightly.
And know that I will do it.
Farewell, Terence.
Farewell, my prince.
Clive, thank fuck. You alright?
I am. But I'm a damn sight better for seeing you, Joshua.
And Barnabas.
The king is dead.
So they're all...
They are, but so is their killer. He can't hurt anyone anymore. You're safe.
Gav, we need to talk.
I'm sorry, Clive. You know I want nothing more than to go with you.
I do. But I'm glad you're heading back to the Enterprise nonetheless.
And not just for Etta's sake. Our people need to know what happened here.
You can count on me.
As can she, I hope.
Thank you, my lords.
Do you think that was wise?
Wiser than leaving a woman with child alone in the Deadlands. They'll be safer at the hideaway. For now, at least. This land is overrun with Akashic. The king himself was long turned, albeit by choice. All to serve Ultima, in his damnable quest to forge the perfect vessel.
The chaos Barnabas wreaked upon nation after nation. How many were killed for this?
He didn't consider it killing. Or a mercy of sorts. A way to end their suffering. He truly wanted to save mankind, and ultimately use that.
As he uses us.
That is our fate. But that doesn't mean we have to accept it, which is why we fight. For the right to deny it. Is that not so?
It is. For our sins. Barnabas said something else. That the Mother Crystals were Ultimas.
Ultimas? Are you certain?
We know that the Mother Crystals have been leading the land of Ether. And we also know that it's this which hastens the spread of the Blight. But what I cannot fathom is what Ultima stands to gain from that. What did you find at the Stronghold?
The truth about Ultima's prize. For so long, I believed it to be you, and you alone. Yet, it is not merely Efreet that he desires, but Efreet and Phoenix both. That which we became in the skies over Twinside. Only when the twin flames are joined shall his vessel be complete. Quite why he needs a vessel is another question. Unless there is something he cannot achieve without one. Something his immaterial form precludes. Something requiring an unthinkable amount of ether and a body resilient enough to channel it. If I did not know better, brother, I would think that he meant to cast a spell. A spell 1,000 years in the making. A spell to end all spells.
And he cannot do it without us. Nor without the Mother Crystals. But if we destroy them all, we will stop not only the Blight, but Ultima as well. We stick to the plan then. Only this time,
we face him together.
Well, it's a long walk to Stone here. Let's not keep Ultima waiting.
Brotherhood. Okay. I also love how I'm watching this on the YouTube side of things. It's just gonna be like completely confused now seeing that as the most recent chat message out of nowhere without the other context. Power of Darkness. Clive has claimed a portion of the icon Odin's essence. Training with Odin not only changes the element aspect of Clive's magic spells, but also allows access to several new iconic abilities, such as Gungnir, a frenetic flurry of attacks that damage all enemies within range. Ability details are found on the Abilities tab in the main menu. Odin's feat. Odin's iconic feat, Arm of Darkness, can be used to temporarily transform Clive's weapon into Odin's legendary blade. Landing attack slowly charges up the blade, readying it for Zantetsuken, which is executed by holding square. Zantetsuken potency is determined by the blade's charge at the time of execution. Interesting. It was a magnificent conversation. Shame they missed it. But yeah, so this here does not lead to the final boss. I mean, it does, but at the same time, it doesn't. Okay, so it's not quite like the point of no return where it's like I want to do the DLC first or anything yet.
His magic died with him.
I also couldn't help but notice like a main Final Fantasy leitmotif in that last cutscene. I most definitely took notice of that. Let's see here. So if I have a quick look-see here. Yeah, so the order that things go story-wise is everything main game before the final boss, then the DLC, and then the final boss. Like, the DLC canonically takes place before the final boss of the main game. So I'll do it in that order, is the plan. So I think I'm almost done with the everything before the final boss part. I think I'm pretty close. I'll let you know. Okie doke. Sounds good. They're basically Barnabas was battle horny with Clive and had sex with God. And yeah, Emerald Finder was asking Guzma if he'd have sex with God, in which case he said no, he wouldn't. But if I had to answer that question, I'd say it depends what God is. Like, Like, are we talking the context of this game? Then absolutely not. Like, he's real ugly. Replace Clive's current weapon with Odin's Blade. Landing abilities with the Arm of Darkness. Fills that. I may as well put it on temporarily just to see what it's like. What about Zeus? I feel like he's a little bit too sex crazed. I feel like, you know, you start something there and you're not gonna want to start going down that rabbit hole. He's a little bit too nutty. So I would think no. in that case. In this game have a ring that makes dodge hurt enemy, or is it end game? There is a lot of cheat items in this game where instead of having like a story mode for people to, well, there is like a story difficulty, so it does have that. In addition to the fact that there's like cheat items that basically just play the game for you as long as you just hit like A button. So there's those that are just meant to be like the easy kind mode. This looks like a big square. The Arm of Darkness. And if individual attacks with Odin's Blade are far less potent than those with Clive's regular weapon. Attacks with Odin's Blade do not fill the limit break gauge. However, striking an enemy or landing an ability with Odin's Blade fills the Zentetsuken gauge. Hold square to ready Zentetsuken, release to execute. Zentetsuken potency and complexity increase with the gauge level. The Zentetsuken gauge will not deplete when used at level 1. Interesting. Pressing square immediately following a precision dodge while the Arm of Darkness is active will result in a powerful attack called Flash of Steel. Pressing square after a successful parry while the Arm of Darkness is active will execute a powerful counter called a Steel Counter. Using both Flash of Steel and Steel Counter is one of the most efficient means of quickly filling the Zentetsuken gauge. While Arm of Darkness is active, the following basic abilities, if learned, will be enhanced. Lunge to Dark Lunge, Down Thrust to Dark Down Thrust. Okay. Mastery, increase the level 5. Huh. Okay, well, I'll try it for now. Sure, give me some stuff there. And I can unlearn this for now, I guess, if I'm not going to be using it right now. And then instead put the points in here. But yeah, Zeus can change his appearance, so at least there's that. There's that, but like, again, like, Zeus has such a ravenous sexual appetite that I don't think that's a rabbit hole that you want to go down. Which god would you smash up, Odie? You say depends on which god is. I said it depends on what god is. Like, assuming this is like real life context and that a god does exist, I think it would depend on the context of what is that god. Then I would definitely consider it. But if we're talking about like real life gods from like different religions and mythologies and stuff like that, I don't know. I actually didn't study that kind of stuff as much in my history class as you'd think I would. But yeah, let's see here and say no thanks there. I don't know. Like, I haven't seen enough depictions of most gods to be able to say that I know a whole lot about them. So my options here, Gungnir. Summon the legendary spear Gungnir and execute an extended flourish of deadly slices and strokes. Each hit landed fills the Zentetsuken gauge. Interesting. Heaven's Cloud. Surge forward to strike an enemy. This is the most anime thing ever. Can be executed multiple times in succession if previous hit lands. Each hit landed fills the Zentetsuken gauge. Armonia Palutena, yes or no? Like, in terms of, like, the context that I know, like, video game context of, like, Kid Icarus Uprising / Smash Bros stuff? Yeah. Rift Slip. Used to recover immediately from any ability or action can be used in midair. Wait, what? Yeah, video game. Yeah. Can we... Hold on. Used to immediately recover from any ability or action. What? I don't understand from the preview. I guess it just puts things into slow-mo so you can keep on going. Because, yeah, that was kind of the combo finisher there. I mean, there could have been a magic burst to, like, extend the combo finisher there, but... Yeah, that's the end of, like, the regular string. And then Rift Slip is used to extend it. Interesting. Dancing Steel. Summon a second blade and unleash a flurry of attacks. Each hit landed significantly fills the Zentetsuken gauge. That looks really cool. And this might be one of the ones I have on at the end of the day. So, like, I stagger a foe, and then I activate the Arm of Darkness, and then I start doing this, and really building up, and then unleash this. Maybe use some of these other things first. I don't know. But I'll try these first and foremost, just for the sake of trying them out. Like, I may as well here. I've played around with Ignition a little bit here. Maybe I should try out this thing, Robob, now, Will of the Wicks. So I'm going to storm of fireballs and circle about Clive. Sure. Give me these. I'm learning different things. Unless, nah, there isn't an ultimate Ifrit thing there. Yeah, sure. And then, let's see here. I can go here, and I can put on this just for the sake of trying it out. And let's try out this Armor of Darkness for a little bit. Sounds fun to me. But yeah, so I mentioned this earlier, I'll say it again. A lot of people in Japan apparently complained that Barnabas didn't have a full Ifrit versus Odin fight, but because of how epic and hard the fight already was, doesn't need one. It was just a Battle of Pure skill. Yeah, and I feel like, considering the WoW factor of him being a character kind of like Jin from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and from Xenoblade Chronicles 3, where he just has like the anime super zoom crazy slashes, I don't think that him going into like the full-on Odin form would have topped that. I think that there was more WoW factor offered by the on-the-ground thing. Plus, how do you top the WoW factor of like the big icon battle after the last one was an outer space together with Joshua? I feel like you're not topping that. So I think it does actually make sense. Like, I agree with you to just have it be like an on-the-ground kind of final battle there, while having like the icon stuff interjected in it along the way. I thought that was pretty cool. I actually quite liked it. So I thought that was cool.
Right, Joshua.
I liked it. Again, I think my one complaint is that one like insta-kill attack thingamabob that was just like near impossible for me to whittle down. Like, maybe I needed better equipment or something. But apart from that, I actually really like that boss. But yeah, if someone goes into Beyblade mode in a street brawl, you lose. You're right.
What happened here? The ether floods.
Also, whatever like questions were being asked like while I was in the middle of that boss battle earlier that I couldn't really answer because I was in the middle of stuff, I can answer stuff now. I know Azure Notori mentioned something about like Platinum Games losing a bunch of people, and I couldn't really think that much about it at the time, but I hadn't heard about that. I don't know what Emerald Finder asked.
But it was not us. It's a wonder they stayed faithful.
Game you're looking forward to in 2025.
Perhaps they sensed
what games are coming out in 2025 again? Let me look at the schedule channel in Discord, just as a reminder what games are coming out in 2025. Oh, Metroid Prime 4. That's probably my biggest one next year.
becomes of us.
Metroid Prime 4, I would say, is definitely my biggest one.
Sworn to a shattered throne.
What other things are coming out? Dark Deity 2. That'll probably be fun. Pokemon Legends CA. Grand Theft Auto 6 will be interesting to see how it turns out. I don't know if Elden Ring Night Rain is coming out next year or sometime afterwards. I don't know if Metal Gear Solid Delta is coming out next year or sometime afterwards. If Metal Gear Solid Delta comes out next year, I'd probably be really excited to play that because I've really liked the Metal Gear series so far. Like, I'm a little bit worried with Konami nowadays. Like, what if the remake turns out to be shit? Because Konami.
Dying soul to rest.
But, sure.
Of course.
But I really enjoyed Metal Gear Solid 1, and I really enjoyed Metal Gear Solid 2. So this remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 to continue my series, I am really looking forward to it. I don't know if it comes out next year or if it's going to be sometime after. I don't think it's announced. But the only game that I know for sure is coming out next year, Metroid Prime 4. Apart from that, there isn't really a whole lot of things coming out next year that I'm aware of. Like, 2024 was a pretty slow year, and there's not a massive ton of stuff, like, in terms of big releases already announced coming out in 2025, I don't think. Like, I'm sure the Switch 2 will be announced next year and probably come out sometime next year, so maybe there'll be a whole bunch of games revealed on the Nintendo side of things that just aren't known yet to go along with the new console. Like, I wouldn't be surprised here, so maybe that'll change. But right now, I'm honestly just kind of looking forward to, in 2025, just having enough space in the game schedule to be able to play some other things. Oh yeah, there's Civ 7, that was announced at the Game Awards. I might actually play that as well. I played Civ 6 as part of my use of history in video games textbook, and it was actually a lot of fun, and I got pretty into it. I did like a very brief thing on it on the channel here, where I still didn't understand the game when I was playing it for the first time. I was like, okay, like it's sort of fun, but I don't really get it. And then I played it on my own time more later, like when I was out of town and stuff like that. I couldn't stream anyway, and I actually started to really like it. So I'll probably end up playing Civ 7 a little bit as well. And a new, like, a dragon game, which could be good in that series. I've never played a game from that series. I've been thinking about it. I know that the pirate game comes out next year, and part of me is almost tempted to play it just because, like, after the disappointment of Skull and Bones this year, part of me is tempted to play that. But honestly, I'm just looking forward to actually having enough breathing room to just, like, play some other things. Because if I pull up the stream schedule here, move it there, and then it's less Inception. These are my 3 main games going on right now. Plus this that I'm just playing from time to time / when it gets patched. And this that I just play when I have chances to play with friendos. There's a little bit more single player content, just a little smidge to play when I get the chance, but you know, it's nothing too crazy. The main part of Mario Party is the multiplayer, obviously. This I've beaten. It's just the DLC now, so I'll start the DLC before. I'm going to be heading out of town on Boxing Day. I'll probably be back January 1st, because, like, that's what my family always does. So I'll start this before Boxing Day, and then I can make a little bit of progress grinding in it while I'm out of town for the DLC, and it should be nowhere near the length of the main game. I'm going to try to beat this before then. I'm going to try and beat this before then, which means I would start the new year with just the DLC of this, which hopefully wouldn't take me too much longer. Hopefully I finish it sometime in January. And then, like, in terms of new releases, there's really nothing for a while. I was thinking about doing this, but, like, I'm leaning more and more towards not, because 1, I might want to do the other Donkey Kong Country games first, and 2, it sounds like the Switch version is, like, worse graphically than the original. Like, a lot of the effects have been taken away. And it's like, oh, well, I may as well just play the original sometime later. So I don't think I'm going to be playing this, honestly. So, yeah, there's going to be the new playthrough with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and that's going to take me a while, because it's always the tradition of, like, start the next Assassin's Creed game. But in terms of new releases, there's not really much of anything for a while. This I'm not going to do, like, a full coverage playthrough of, because I already have a 136-part series of Xenoblade Chronicles X, and another, like, 5 long-part series of my 2018 playthrough. So, like, I'll just showcase the new content is what I'll do, and then play a lot of this on my own time, so this isn't going to be an active thing. I'll wait until April to play Last of Us Part 2, and then we'll see whether the PC version is as broken as Part 1 on PC, or if it's not, and then decide whether I'm playing the version that I already own here and save myself some money, or if it's so broken on PC that it's worth playing on PC because it'd be funny. So, we'll see there. Like, either the funny, or save myself money. So either way, win-win. So we'll see there. And then, like, who knows for a little while. Like, maybe there'll be a bunch of stuff on Switch 2 that gets announced. But it honestly seems like I might have a decent bit of breathing room for a little while. So, like, at the beginning of next year, it sounds like the things that are going to be on my schedule are Persona 3 Reload DLC, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, since, like, beginning of New Year, and then maybe a smidge of this. And then once I get through that, especially once I get through this, like, I'll have some breathing room, unless I want to just play completely Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but I feel like I would drive myself up the wall with insanity if I did that. I need to play other things to keep myself sane. I actually just have wiggle room. Like, I'm so used to my schedule being so crammed with either new releases or prerequisites to new releases. Prerequisite games, I call them. Like, games I want to play before other new games. Like, for example, playing Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3 before Prime 4. I count those as prerequisite games. But I just won't have that for a little while. I can genuinely just sit down and be like, huh, what are things I've wanted to stream for a while but haven't had the chance to? And it'll be a little bit of a breath of fresh air. I ordered a bunch of PlayStation games on sale during, like, Boxing Day sale and Holiday sale off of Video Games Plus. I don't know when I'm gonna get them in the mail, just whenever I get them. They're pretty backed up right now, apparently, it sounds like. So, maybe what I end up playing will depend on when they arrive. Or maybe just Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Persona 3 Reload is good enough for me for a little while. I don't know. No, wait, I can Chocobo here? It said I couldn't for a hot second.